Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Reuben. Reuben is from Savannah in Georgia in the USA. So let's see what Reuben has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Reuben. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
My pleasure.
So, how's your day been so far?
It's I'm doing taxes. Or the tax deadline here is April 15th. So if you can't see what's in front of my dining room table right now, but I've got everything. I've been crunching numbers all morning long.
Amazing. Where are you from, Reuben?
Originally, I'm from West Virginia, but I live in Savannah, Georgia, and I've been in Savannah for just under 40 years.
Wow, it's been a while now. And why the change from West Virginia to Georgia?
Different opportunities at that point in time. I was I was 25, 26 then, and I got tired of the winters. The winters in West Virginia can be very cold, and I wanted to be in the South and close to the coast.
Wow. And all your family are back in West Virginia?
Pretty much, yeah. Most there are people here and here. It's like most families. Everybody has kind of done this, you know.
It's interesting how our family, like our siblings or people around us, they just find their own way in life.
Oh yeah, exactly. My sister lives outside of Pittsburgh, and my brother still lives in West Virginia. My parents are both gone now.
I see. And what do you do for work, for living?
I'm retired. I am an active porn model. That's what I do. I was a court administrator for 32 years. So it's a total flip.
Yes. And tell me, when did it come up the idea to create adult content? Tell me a little bit how the idea came along.
I wanted to do it when I was in college. Okay, this is back in the 70s. And the predominant studios were using a guy by the name of Al Parker and Casey Donovan. And I knew that I wanted to do it, but I also knew that I had to have a career to put bread on the table. So I put off that thought for about 35, 40 years.
Wow.
And when I retired, I had already told my friends that I would do it, and they knew I was going to do it. It was just waiting for the right time, and it presented itself, and here I am.
Amazing. And I'm sure you are having the best of your time right now, doing something that you always wanted to do.
I'm having a blast. I am. Now, it's work. It is. It's not a party. The studios that I have been lucky enough to work with want you to be present and want you to be ready to work. And being with the work ethic that I have and doing what I did before I retired, that's how I'm geared anyway. So I'm good to go.
Amazing. And how long have you been doing the adult content for?
I started when I was 65 and I'm 67. So it's just under 2 years now.
I see. Amazing. Okay, so through the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your journey, about your life and your point of views as well.
Great.
Okay. Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life?
Please.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best. Okay, flow from the fun questions. I'm just going to play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Fun.
Amazing. Reuben, before you start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay, sure.
first question for you is, what is the biggest prize you ever won?
Oh, the biggest prize or the biggest honor that I've ever won was this past about a month or two ago. I was presented with the champion of equality by the Georgia Equality and the Equality Foundation of Georgia for my advocacy work with the LGBTQ community. It was a lifetime achievement award, and when they said they were giving it to me, I thought, whoa! I was amazed and very flattered and very humbled.
So tell me a little bit about this event, this event that they do it, that you got this prize.
I've always been politically active within our community. It started when I was actually in high school back in the 70s. I started paying attention. I grew up in a very loving, supporting family. My parents knew what they had on their hands at a very early age. So I didn't have that static that a lot of gay men in the 70s had to deal with within their families. It was a very loving environment. So I was able to listen and to watch things that were happening. So I became politically active on my own level, on my own skill level and comfort level when I was in college. And that started my path on the advocacy-ish way. And I continue doing different things and different projects over the years. So that's where it all began.
Amazing. All right. I think it's a good, it feels good when you know that you've been recognized for something that you do for your community.
It does. It truly does. And again, very humbled. It was a wonderful reception, and had, God, all my friends were there. Mm-hmm. It was, and it was people that I've worked with over the years. It was just, it was a special night. We'll put it that way.
Oh, sweet. Next question.
Yes.
Hey, Reuben from Georgia. Next question is, what question would you like to be asked?
Well, I've been so geared over the years, because when I was actively an activist in my community, especially in Savannah, I was that face on television. Anything that happened on a federal level or on a local level or a state level, the media here sought me out. Okay, I was that spokesperson for our community. Oh. And so there's so being interviewed is one of those things that one, I enjoy, and two, it's like, you ask the question, you're going to get the answer.
Amazing. You are in the right place.
Fun.
Next one, let's do it. Before the next question, so tell me, what do you like the most about creating adult content? And also, the flip side, what do you find very challenging?
The one thing I enjoy the most is that realization of living the dream that I had all those years. Does that make sense? I'm doing what I've always wanted to do, and I feel blessed. People people that within the community, because I'm older, much older than most guys when they start, and most guys are retiring and getting out of it. I'm jumping in feet first. But my friends and the people that have worked around me in this community have been so supportive. And when they find out, and it kind of hit the wires real quick with my berries, it was like, oh, look at him. But it's like, go, Mark. That's my real name. It's like, yo, go. It's just, people have just been very supportive and very, very embracing about the whole thing.
And what's something that you find challenging regarding the business?
I've been lucky so far. The studios that I work with and the people that I've been around have been very supportive and very guiding. Okay, I didn't know what I expected. We'll put it that way, because you're walking into a room with guys that have been doing this for a while. You don't know what the attitude's going to be, or you don't know what the connection's going to be. But I have found that in general, and 99.9% of the time, everybody is there to do a job. So, I really have not found, a downside to it. I get to travel. I get to talk to people that I've seen on film for a number of years. I'm meeting people that I admire, and it's a nice yin and yang. It's a very good flow.
Okay. Next question for you is, if you could be a character in a movie, who that would be and why?
Oh, Cary Grant. I'm going back to some readers, some reviewers probably won't know who he was, but he was extremely dapper and very poised, and he was a character actor, leading man, but character actors, and he just did an amazing job. And I've always just, I loved his movies and loved the interviews when he was still alive on talk shows and things like that. He just had this click. So if I was one of his characters, my God, I'm trying to think which one I like the best. There's everything. I will just put it this way: anything that Cary Grant did, I'd like to do.
Amazing.
I don't know new generation actors and actresses. I really don't pay attention, which is sad to say, because I go to movies but when I read the credits, I look at the production people who does this, who does that, who did that kind of thing. You see so many people who just kind of come and go anymore, that it's just unless they're really there, then I just that's how I view things.
See. All right. Ready for another one?
Yes, please.
Let's do it. Next question. Next question for you is, what's the best advice have you ever given?
Live your life. Live your life. Life is way too short to be worried about what other people think. And two, you have to make certain that you follow your own heart and your own mind. You really can't let people pressure you into being something you're not. Time is way too short. And if we didn't learn that through like COVID, then you didn't learn anything. It was amazing. I don't know where you live, how it approached, but there were people dropping like flies around us. And it just it really made you think and understand that each day is really a gift.
Tell me, what was the biggest positive thing that came out of the COVID crisis for you?
A sense of accomplishment. I was taking care of the woman that I deemed my second mom. And Eva was 93 when it hit. And so we had decided that we were going to rally around her and keep her safe, because we knew if she was placed in a nursing home at that point in time, that we'd never see her again. And that wasn't going to happen. So there were three of us that took care of her, took care of each other. And it was just like, we got it down to a science. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knew what was going on. It was, but we took control right off the bat. We started following that bouncing ball before it hit, and and laid out a plan. So it was that sense of safety and accomplishment that we were able to get her through that without that happening to her.
Wow, amazing. I think a lot of people, they adjust their life to look after other people as well somehow.
Yeah, and you really had to take care of each other, even as frightening as it was, especially at the very beginning. You really had to make certain that you got your ducks in a row and try to like throw the politics of it all out and do what was right for you, and what made you safe and what made you feel good.
Amazing. Okay. Who's that?
That was the cat. That was Sammy. She hopped up on the table.
Next question. Okay, Reuben, next question for you is, what is your morning ritual?
Okay. I set 2 alarms, one at 3:30 and one at 4 a.m.
Wow.
The 3:30 kind of wakes me up. I hop out of bed no later than 4. I walk downstairs. I give the cats, both cats, treats because they're waiting for them. And then I put on coffee. I get dressed to go to the gym. I leave for the gym about 4:20 every day, and I'm in the gym by 4:40. So my first 2 hours of my day, from about 4:40 to 5 o'clock, depending on traffic. Sometimes it may be a little bit, until 7:15, I'm in the gym. It's clockwork. Boom. Then I come back home, eat, and have more coffee and get ready for my day.
How often do you go to the gym?
6-7 days a week. I go almost every day. Yeah.
And gym always being part of your life?
I have always been active. When I lived in West Virginia, I walked and hiked and camped and that kind of thing. But the gym wasn't, because back in the 70s, we really didn't have them like we do today. Okay. They didn't exist. There were college gyms and gyms in schools and things like that, but it was also whether or not you had the opportunity or the access to them. So I didn't join my first gym until I was probably about 42, and I've been doing it ever since. Since I've retired, I'm focused more on muscle growth and that, because as I age, I know that I'm going to reach that point of diminishing return, where no matter what I do, my muscles will not grow, or they're going to get smaller. So I'm trying to beat the clock.
And you always being an early bird?
Always. I love mornings. Absolutely love my mornings. I love sitting in my courtyard and listening to and now I'll be honest with you, I like the early evening too, because I love listening to night birds and that kind of thing. It just in Savannah, we may be inner city, but we've got an urban forest here. There's a tree canopy that has flying squirrels, regular squirrels, hawks, falcons. Every bird that migrates comes through us. So you get to have that opportunity to see this stuff. And trust me, I take advantage of it. I love it.
Amazing. I wake up around this time as well, around 4 o'clock, more or less. I'm up as well to go to the gym.
Yeah, you seem like you're an early bird. Yeah, you do.
And always being as well. I mean, not always, but for the last 15 years, I've been an early bird.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I love my morning.
Next question. Before the next question, tell me something. What's the biggest difference between Georgia State and West Virginia? And the second part of the question is, what do you miss the most about West Virginia?
The climate here is much different. I'm on the coast. Savannah's about maybe 10 miles off the Atlantic coast. We don't really have winters. Our temperature does drop, and it's gray for a month and a half. But by President's Day or Martin Luther King Day, you see flowers happening. You see it things are already starting to bud. So the climate is the biggest difference. Plus the fact in Georgia, in this part of Georgia, there are no hills. Okay. In West Virginia, I grew up among foothills and mountains. And so there's a lot of difference, and snow, which I really don't want to see again. No thanks. But yeah, and what I miss about West Virginia, basically, well, of course I miss family. I do. It's a different culture. Appalachian culture is a lot different than Southern culture, and people sometimes want to commingle them, but they're two different entities altogether. And I enjoy the spring and summers up there are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, there's it's almost subtropical for a couple months. It's very pretty, and I miss walking the mountains and the hills. My legs were huge back then. Now I have to do steps.
Next question for you is, what is your favorite weekend activity?
I go camping. It's more like glamping. I have an older Airstream that I have parked at a gay campground. I have a deck and it faces a lake, and so or a small pond, and I go up there whenever I can, and it's also got an in-ground pool, and I meet a lot of nice people, and it's a very safe place. When I say safe, I mean it's a gay campground. You can be yourself. It's like you leave all the other stuff behind, and I go up there and take some good cigars, and I drink coffee in that kind of thing, and just kind of flatline. It's being retired, I have a lot of opportunity to flatline. Trust me, but it's like, that's what I do on the weekends. Yeah.
And how is being gay in Savannah, in Georgia, in your opinion?
Being gay?
Yeah, it's easy. It's good.
Savannah's a very accepting and loving community. We're a blue dot in a red stake, so to speak. There's a very heavy. There's a lot of cultural activity here. We have the Savannah College of Art and Design here, so that brings people from all over the world into the college environment. So you see the kids with the yellow hair and the green hair, and they think they've always invented things. And I'm like, I had those platform shoes in 1973, and they look at me like, "No, you didn't." No, I did. It's like nothing you have on is new. I had it all. I just kind of tease with them, but no, it's I was in my other life, in my real persona, I was the executive director for the Pride Festival here. That was one of the things that I did, and I had being a court administrator also. A lot of the people from the courthouse would come to Pride to support me and Pride. So, they'd bring their kids. We always had kids activities. We had bouncy houses and things like that. And the women that worked for me, they would play mom, and they would watch the bouncy houses and make certain the kids are okay. And it was, Savannah is very, very chill and very cool. It really is. It's what you make of it. And being gay here is very. Now you go 5-10 miles outside the city, it's a whole different atmosphere. Okay. Wow. It's a little bit different.
Like that close is very different. People, they approach in a different way.
Well, there's Savannah, then there's rural Georgia, which is very close. And once you step out of the boundaries of, it's kind of like living in Oz, that safety bubble. And once you step out of Oz, you're in the woods, that kind of thing. And it's like, there are people that are understanding, but there are a lot of people that don't like who you are out there, and that's obvious. But it's Georgia's getting better. It's getting better, but it's a matter of time and a matter of education and a little bit of love thrown in.
Okay. Next question. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Are you shaking a box?
Of course, all the questions are here. Next question for you is, what do you miss the most from your childhood and why?
Of course. You're going to get a couple of tears on this one.
Oh,
It's okay. Happy tears. My parents, my grandparents, they, again, ooh, very loving, very supportive. And I miss the conversations the most. My parents, my grandparents, and I were my biggest fans. With them, recognizing who I was and what I was at an early age, I knew that my family had my back. Okay, so the rest of the world could go screw themselves because I didn't care because I had my family, but they had my back. And I wish everybody could experience that. And I miss them. I do.
oh, sweet. And why the tears? Why do you get this genuine tears when you think about, those lovely, parents and grandparents around you?
Well, I'm at, like I told you before, I'm 67 years old. I have more life behind me than I do ahead, and I know that. That's my reality. All right, it's just the way it is. You can say, oh, 67 is just a number, but it's a pretty big number. Come on, let's be real. And I've had a very lucky journey. We'll put it that way because of the love and support of my family. It's yeah. So if I shed happy tears over their memory, then so be it. It's okay.
Beautiful. I'm sure wherever they are right now, they're just smiling, seeing you express your emotions through them.
I'll be honest with you. My dad would probably get the biggest kick out of knowing that I'm doing porn. My mom, maybe not. But my dad would get a kick out of it.
3 questions left for you. Let's do it.
Okay.
Before the next question, tell me, it's one question, 2 parts. The first part of the question is, tell me the first scene that you've done in the adult content career, like the first scene. Tell me your emotions, how you're feeling, tell me something fun that happened. And the second part of the question is, if there is anyone like that would like to collaborate with to do a scene or a movie, who that would be and why?
Okay. All right. It really was a wonderful experience. I filmed with a model by the name of Valentino Fuentes, and the producer Dave Romero. It was a natural born breeders film. Okay, I was called down to do work with natural born breeders and Pantheon hot odor male for that week. I ended also up doing a dragon film with a group of guys along that path too, and that's a whole different story altogether. That'll blow your mind. But Valentino was I'd never met him before. They'd sent him the picture, but when Romero picked him for me, he knew what he was doing. The man was seasoned. He knew he'd how to guide me. He made me feel so comfortable and it showed up on film. You know what I mean? It was very passionate, very, very. There was that physical connection. One, he's gorgeous. I mean, he's just gorgeous, and a nice guy. We're still in contact today. We text back and forth, and keep up on with what's going on, that kind of thing. We've filmed with each other twice. Other times it has been with group scenes, but not one-on-one again. And it was just a great experience. I was and it set the tone for what Reuben would go next. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
And the second part of the question is, who if you could choose someone right now to do a scene or a move, a collaboration with you, who that would be?
Brian Bonds or Aaron Trainer or both. Brian is extremely sexy. He lives in Las Vegas. I've never met him, but I have been a fan of his since he was when he first started. He's got a very sexy voice. And Aaron Trainer and I have worked in group scenes before together, but we've never worked one-on-one. We're actually, I like to consider Aaron a friend because he's been very guiding and very supporting too. A lot of the guys along the way have helped groom me, okay? And very grateful here. But no, both of them are very sexy men, and I would welcome the opportunity.
Amazing. Next question for you is, what would be your ideal day?
Okay. I like a meal that's not rushed. Okay, if we're going to go out to dinner, I like a meal that is not rushed. I'm not the guy that likes to get dressed up all the time. Okay, that part of my life is over. I like things here. I have a suit jacket on, but I want to be a little spicy. So the meal would, the meal would be very good conversation. I always have coffee with my meal, so that's part of it. I'm not a drinker. I don't drink alcohol, and hopefully that person will understand that, and not be judgy about it. Some people get kind of like, well, why aren't you drinking? And that falls under Nunya. I don't have to explain myself to anybody, but it would be a good meal over a couple hours, and maybe a walk to the restaurant and a walk from the restaurant rather than hopping in cars and going separate ways, that would be the ideal thing.
Amazing. 2 questions left. Let's do it.
Ooh.
Next question is, who do you talk to the most?
I talk to a gent in Atlanta quite a bit. In fact, you've interviewed him, Michael McKinney.
Yes.
Michael is extremely smart, and I love the path that he takes so we talk an awful lot. We do by phone or whatever. And I have friends here that I talk to pretty readily. I have a very small circle of friends. I know people, but my circle is very tight. In fact, when I decided when I knew, they all knew that I was going to do porn or start into the industry. And when I went to each one of them and said, okay, it's happening, they were like, well, it's about damn time. You've been talking about this for decades. So they've all been very supportive and very loving about it.
Have you ever tried Michael lasagna? I remember he mentioned about that.
I haven't had the opportunity. I really haven't. He keeps mentioning it. In fact, I made lasagna last week, and I told him, and I said, hey, I'm making a pan of lasagna, and he goes, you really have to try mine. You've got a good memory. You've got a really good memory.
I remember he said, when you come, I said to him, because it was a question about romantic, and he said, William, if a guy eats my lasagna, that's it. It's gone already.
Yeah.
I said, I can't wait to go one day to Georgia and try it.
Yeah.
It's recorded, so he cannot run away. When I come to Georgia, that's it. He needs to cook it. Ready for the last one?
Yes, sir, please.
Last question. But before the last question, let's say guys around your age, would you like to start making adult content? What would be your best piece of advice?
Make applications with studios. I do more studio work than I do content. Okay, there's a difference. I do content, and I embrace it. but I got into the business to do studio work. They're going to have to make a decision on which path to travel. There are some models that do both. Some models do one or the other. So you can run yourself ragged trying to do both, because the content platforms are different in each company has it's different, so it's not the same rules when you're using them. And if you're non-techie like me, it'll drive you crazy. It's like, okay. But no, you also need to make certain that your content and what you put out and promote on Twitter or Instagram is what you want people to remember, what you want people to see. If you start throwing quantity versus quality, it may bite you in the butt. You know what I mean? Some guys keep throwing stuff out, and I like throwing out really fun stuff and good stuff, but there are times when nothing is happening, and I have to go through archives to keep things fresh and to keep things going. And and also it's work. It's not like it's fun and games. Some guys think that it's just going to be a lot of fun and games. You're there to work. I mean, you're there to understand what the producers want, what the directors want, understand what's going on, and it's kind of suit up and show up. And I have a good time. The sex is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. Sex is right there. But it's like, but you have to understand that it is a job and it is a career.
And as you mentioned, that you need to find a way to express yourself, to show what's the content you are creating. What is about you? What's something that you put out there it's your signature?
I like the connection between myself and the other model. Some content providers or content actors are all about just the act, that pounding, the. I like passion. I like that. I love to kiss, and I love this. I love when that happens on film. It shows up on film. I love that man-on-man interaction that comes with that mind physical meld sometimes, and if that happens, it's gold.
Amazing. Okay, last question for you is, if you could sit down with your 13 years old self, what would you say?
Okay. Everything's going to be okay. All right. Don't listen to everything that everybody says or tells you. Make your own decision. Think it through. All right. Can learn how to connect the dots in your life and understand what people, and learn to listen. Okay. Listening is extremely important. Some cultures are not taught to listen. Some cultures are. Some cultures, and within them, they are readily with a response before the person that is telling them anythanything has finished their part of the communication. They've already formed, so you're not getting the complete deal. You know what I mean? So I would tell my 13-year-olds, there's a reason that when we were growing up, we were in a room full of adults, and kids were not really permitted to speak. That's where I gleaned my listening skills. I listened to every word that was being said, and so that would be the biggest point, I think, is that learn to listen and learn to connect the dots. That you're going to be okay.
Very good. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word can come to your mind. Quick thinking. So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Family.
Love.
Money.
Necessity.
Life.
God, so much. Journey.
Love.
Embrace it or embrace it.
Sex.
Necessary.
Necessary. Politics.
Craziness.
Religion.
Dangerous.
Fear.
Not worthy.
Okay. Friendship.
Gift.
Desire.
There again. Boom, 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 boom. The word just hot comes to my mind. That's the desire, hot. Just that thing.
Okay. Regret.
Worthless.
Success.
Planned.
Wish.
Hopeful.
Happiness.
Gift.
One word for West Virginia.
Smiles.
One word for Savannah.
Home.
USA, one word.
Fusion.
And the last one now. Adult content creator, one word.
Dream.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, what is the most beautiful thing about Reuben, and what's something that he still needs to work on, to improve on? What your best friend would say?
Hopefully, that I'm a stand-up guy and that I'm honest. That I get the job done. And that that I'm reliable, very reliable.
And something that you need to improve or to work on?
There's always room for improvement on the physical attributes, the what I do physically. So there's that, and also in emotionally, there's always improvement for acceptance, and embracing other mind thoughts other than myself. I can be kind of stubborn sometimes, or really stubborn. That should have gone back to the friendship conversation. It's just like, yeah, what were your friends say about? Well, he's kind of stubborn. That's there.
Just the fact that you know is already halfway of the journey of improvement. Let's play now Reuben and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Actually, before you ask me the question, tell me, how often do you create your adult content? How often do you do that? There is like schedule?
Like I explained, I prefer studio filming other than content filming. And there's a reason. One, filming for a studio has always been my dream. Okay, I didn't realize that content filming was even out there until I got into the business. I had not a clue. I didn't even know what Twitter was until I got into the business. I had not a clue. I knew Instagram was out there, but I never did it. So this is like 2 years fresh. So in Savannah, there's not many guys here that are willing to film and show their face. Okay. And so that's one of those things where I'm just like, you have to you have to have the whole persona. And so I have to travel. I have to go to Atlanta. I have to go to Fort Lauderdale to do that content filming. And a lot of times when I'm traveling to Atlanta or to Fort Lauderdale, I'm also working for a studio at that same time. So I kill two birds with one stone. So for content, I have to leave Savannah basically. Or if there's a traveling model that's coming through to go up north or south, that'll stop by. I get a videographer and we film here, and then we go about. So there's not a set schedule. Okay, I wish there was. I don't have a revolving door like the guys in Fort Lauderdale that are there together and they just pass. They just film constantly. That doesn't happen here. That opportunity does not exist. I wish it did. So if you want to film, I'm here.
Amazing. Yeah. Can you ask me a question now?
How did you find me and why did you choose me for this interview?
Amazing. Okay, very simple and easy answer. When I go on Instagram or any platform of social media, usually it shows up some profiles, yeah? Regarding maybe because I'm connected with some people that you are friends as well. So that's how it shows on your account. And I don't look into much details of my guests. I just have a brief look and I just feel like invite them. If they say yes, good. If they say no, good as well. I think it didn't meant to be. But if they say yes, I think it's just we are making memories now. You know what I mean? So it's just a chance for us to live our point of views in the world and connect with people. And how did I choose you? I think when I saw your profile, I just felt like your charisma maybe could be part of the show, and I think, okay, let me fry up the message, and you reply back, why not? So here we are, making memories.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Enjoying the ride.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Did you enjoy the interview?
I loved it. It was a lot of fun, and I love the box thing.
Thank you so much, Reuben, for taking the time. Thanks for being so open about your life and about your point of views as well. And again, talking about the things, or encouraging people to be themselves, Maybe people, sometimes they feel like they are not good enough, or they don't want to do things, or they don't feel embraced or brave to do something. And when they see someone talking about, so open, you can encourage people to do that. So you never know. So thanks so much for being so kind.
No, quite welcome. If I can, I don't want to throw a whole lot of weight in the word inspire, but show people that a guy in his 60s can still be sexually active and maintain and reach out of a comfort zone into a box, out of that box that a lot of guys, especially my age group, they tend to want to close down. Don't do that, boys. Don't do that.
No. Amazing. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or something that you live by.
You asked me about this, and I thought about it. I like to read on occasion, and Patti LaBelle's autobiography, she has a quote that says, "Promises can be made, but nothing is promised." Now, in the context that she presents it, it's like God in the universe is in control. So you can make plans all you want to, but if it's your time, it's your time, that kind of thing. But the way I took the reading was that you have to be adaptable. You have to be able to go left, go right. You can make plans to go here, but nothing is promised. Even the plans that you made. There's always going to be a hiccup. There's always going to be something that may change the path that you take. But you have to be able to adapt to that change that's necessary. So yeah, there you go. There you have it.
Amazing. Thanks so much for the interview. It was a pleasure, and keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care of you. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank y'all. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.